if you master for EDM, do you need to master loud? That's the question here. So let's just talk about loudness in dance music. It's often just the number of laughs people look at. They're like, yeah, the reference track hits this amount of laughs, so my track needs to hit the same amount of laughs. That's already a pretty risky thing to think because the laugh measures the perceived loudness. It doesn't measure the RMS. It doesn't measure the peak level. It's just measuring how loud it's sounding in perception. So what I tried to say is if you have a super bright mix, the loves meter will be easily giving you super loud results. But if you then play that track out live next to big professionally mastered tracks, then it might be the case that you find out that your track has no low end and very much is not sounding as powerful as the professional commercial masters. That's why I don't advise to just look at the loves meter. Check the RMS, check the overall balance, listen to what your track needs, and listen to if that what you do on the track distorts the track or alters the track in a way that you might not want. If you add saturation, if you clip, if you wave shape, then definitely the sound is changing, which can be part of your strategy into reaching your loudness goal, but do it intentionally. That's the most important, so that you are having a certain sonic vision of why you do something like that. And to really simply answer the question, yes, you need a loud dance master. Why? A couple of reasons. The first reason being dance music just needs to hit hard. Why? Otherwise, it won't perform well if it's being played out in the clubs. All dance masters are loud. It's nice that the tracks feel super condensed, feels super gluey. The loudness, of course, needs to be achieved in a professional way. For example, I use great saturation by Black Box Analog Design HG2, which has tubes inside. This unit colors the track and increases the RMS in a way that a plugin really can't do. And it's one of the things that I use. Another thing that I use is the LAL mastering limiter. This limiter sells for about 10,000 US dollars, and you can really hear why it's so expensive, because it does some magic. It's an incredibly mind-blowing limiter, and it's just able to basically reduce a lot of gain and limit your track in a way that it retains its solidity, detail, punch, and increases the loudness of the track, that you're like listening to it and feel like mind blown and overwhelmed by the quality and still have no distortion. That's unpleasant. Then I want to make a really important side note. If you, for example, go for a super loud track for the DJ release, so that means that you send it off for promo, send it to other DJs, send it to Beatport, then definitely make sure that that track is super loud, that version of the master. But you can definitely release a little bit quieter master on Spotify. When do you do this? My opinion on that is that you need to do it. So release a stream master if you prefer that type of sonics. Don't do it because you're scared that streaming services will wreck your sound, because that's really not what's happening. Spotify will simply just lower the final gain on your track. So you can always release super loud masters on Spotify as well. That said, it's important as well that some people, including myself, don't have normalization activated on Spotify. So if you then have a quiet master, your track will just not sound as loud as the track that's released by others. And pretty much everyone is releasing super loud masters on Spotify. So it's good to know where your track will end up. And loudness is very often the thing that you want in your track as a result from certain processes that get that EDM kind of impact into your track. Of course, it starts with the production, sample selection, mixing, all that stuff. But if your master is clipped right, limited right, saturated right, has super good stereo, a good stereo field, has great compression, has good punch, then you will, get that goosebumps effect. And dance music is music that you need to feel. If you're at a festival, you want the music to be super loud, super impactful, and have those tight waveforms hit you through the big PA systems. So I would always go for loud, but you can go a bit more dynamic if that's what you creatively want. Just make sure to measure the right numbers and know what you're doing before releasing your track into the world.